What's up, fellow go-givers? Jawan Buford broadcasting here from Detroit, Michigan. You know how I do it first thing in the morning. And what I want to talk about today is a conversation I had recently with an entrepreneur that attended a social event, our Biz Connect Mixer downtown Detroit recently. And, she had a good time at the event, shared a lot of valuable information, great connections, great networking, great conversation. You owe it to yourself to be there if you're in our marketplace. But in any respect, our follow-up conversation involved two things she was a bit frustrated with. She works in the financial services industry, and what she shared with me is that when she has the opportunity to present the value prop, once she has the opportunity to actually share what is it she does for a living, that more often than not, a good outcome transpires, right? The person is in agreement that is a value, and she has a high percentage or likelihood that people will actually conduct business with her. But her challenge was getting the appointment scheduled in the first place, right? So she shared with me how she would meet people. She would converse with them, and she would schedule appointments, and the appointments wouldn't stick. I think we've all been there before. And look, I make it clear to individuals, I am not the best that's out there. I'm not, we talk about the top of the food chain, right? The very best of the best. But I'm also pretty good at what I do too, right? And, this is the other thing too I would share. And this is what I wish I would have shared with her in the midst of the conversation. But I've been thinking about this. Because you'll go online and you'll hear these gurus and these individuals talking about how they close at 90% tick, or that when they meet people, 90% or 100% of their appointments tick. Let me tell you right now, that's a lie. Okay. Anyone who's been in sales, anyone who's been in client services, anyone who's been in sales, management, business development, whatever the case may be. Okay. I don't care if you're selling used toothpicks. No one closes at 90%. Nobody closes at 100%. No one has 100% appointment schedule. Look, people who claim that, trust me, they've qualified those individuals 4, 5, 6 times over. Yeah, if I counted everyone who filled out my survey to have a qualifying survey, majority of people fill out that survey, schedule an appointment. So if I just counted those individuals, and you're right, 100% of the people that I engage with schedule appointments, because you're not going to go through that survey and not schedule an appointment. And more than likely, you're not going to complete that survey and not end up doing business with me, right? So oftentimes people are comparing themselves to other people's performance and looking down on themselves because they may not be able to emulate those results. But just know there's a lot of game being ran out there. The bottom line is this. If you can get 30% of individuals that you engage to schedule an appointment, if you get 30% of the individuals that you engage who say yes to your value prop, trust me, you are an all-star. You are doing well. Now, can you get better at the game? Sure. Are there ways in which you could qualify individuals so you tend to sit down and spend time with and you end up talking to people who are more likely to be ideal clients or interested in what you're doing? Sure. Okay. But trust me, if you're closing at 30%, I don't care what it is you're marketing. It could be used cars. It can be chewed up bubble gum. It doesn't matter. You are doing very well. Okay. And that includes financial service industry, real estate, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Trust me, talk to someone who's crushing it, who's willing to really be real, pull back the curtain and show you this is how I make the sausage. And they will tell you they will be very, very, very glad and happy if 30% of people who looked at content or tool or anything said yes, right? They would quadruple, 10x their income. Anyway, enough of that. So this is what I shared with her. I said, look, if you're struggling with getting appointments to stick, and there's a second part of this conversation, right? If you're also struggling with acquiring referrals, what I shared with her was two things. The first thing is you have to learn how to anchor people. Now, what does that mean? So when I'm having conversations with individuals, when I'm talking to them, and I'm initially introducing my value prop, right? I'm not selling people. People ask, what is it I do? I may ask them, look, how important is it that you acquire capital for your business, right? Before I share with you my laundry list of the things that I do, if you don't mind me inquiring, what's most important to you right now? right? I'll ask those questions. I'll turn the conversation around because I'm not going to spend 15, 20 minutes. People don't make buying decisions on an initial conversation, whether it be over the phone, via Zoom, or we meet them at the coffee shop or at the grocery store anyway. At least most smart business owners and entrepreneurs want to have time to either consult, vet, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll turn the question around and I'm asking, what's most important to you right now? Is it having a sales process? Are you in a situation where you finally decide you need to get your estate plan done and acquire a trust or a will? Are you in a situation where you're getting ready to hire employees and you're concerned? Because we know sometimes not only do you need to protect your business and the public, but the people you work with. Maybe you're just getting started and you're trying to figure out LLC, S Corp, C Corp, L3C, whatever the case may be, right? I'm going to ask those questions. Now, why am I asking those questions? Because I'm trying to ascertain whether or not it's a priority, right? I'm going to try to ascertain whether or not it's a priority for them because people make time for the things that are really important to them. And so if I'm in the midst of conversing with someone about their business and their challenges and what it is they're taking aim at and what do they want to see happen over the course of the next year or so, I may ask the question, look, if I could show you a way to address that issue, or if there was a company that provided a solution to that, where they would help you become more capital ready, right? Structure your business properly so before you approach the bank, micro lender, hard money lender, and private investor, there's a strong likelihood that you receive funding. If I could show you a way to address that, if I could show you a way, oh, you've been a victim of cybersecurity issues recently, I have too. Amazing. Um, if I could show you a way to resolve that, would that be important to you? You said that you had a real estate transaction go south, or you're in a situation where you signed a bad contract, whatever the case may be, whatever the challenge they're having, and you're getting ready to lease a building, or you're leasing a building, right? If I could help you resolve that, how important to you is that? On a scale of 1 through 5, one being it's not a high priority, you just talking about it, but you're all good. 5 being you need to get this addressed sooner rather than later. I'm going to anchor the conversation somehow and what's important to them. And if I can do that, and I can say, well, look, how about we have a follow-up conversation, right? Because most people don't make decisions based on just a random conversation. Where I'd love the opportunity to share with you specifically how we can meet that particular need, solve that particular problem, and do so in a way that makes sense for you financially and otherwise. Is that something that you'd be interested in? Is that important to you? They say yes, great. Now I'm scheduling the appointment. Now you can get on my calendar. And I may still send you my survey, even after that discussion, right? Depending on whether or not I feel like you're a flake or something, or if I get the feeling you may not be taking it all that seriously, right? And so that is a way to ensure that appointments transpire. And of course, you have Calendly and a million other tools to send out reminders. You want to remind someone typically 3 days for the appointment, a day before the appointment, in the morning or day of the appointment, and even an hour before the appointment, depending on the type of individuals you're dealing with. And there are automated tools that will do that for you. But that's the first thing you want to do. You want to anchor people in their priorities. You want people to actually articulate, this is important to me. You cannot assume. If you assume, that means you're scheduling if you haven't asked these questions, you're scheduling appointments for you. It's got to be about them. People do business with folks whom they like, know, and trust, right? And if you're asking questions of business owners, if you are being inquisitive, if you actually demonstrate that you care, they're going to like you. Now, they may not feel like they know you or trust you yet, but at the very least, they're going to like you. Maybe they feel like they know you a little bit, right? Now, look, next step, right? Because this is where things can get a little bit muddy in terms of your referral game, right? So you have the appointment. The next question or concern she had was, look, I meet with people and I have a hard time getting referrals. So my business is growing at a snail's pace as a result, right? And some of us are out here on a beer budget. It is what it is. None of us have a champagne budget. None of us can have the means to be able to pay someone $300 to $500 to $2,000 to $5,000 per month to help us get the word out about our business. So look, the quickest route to a destination is straight line. Ask for referrals. Well, once again, this is something that I'm a huge, huge, huge advocate of, and that's anchoring people in your value prop, whether they buy from you or not, right? I want to communicate my value prop in a way that says, look, I'm here to help you. I'm not here to sell you. I'm here to solve your problem. But while I'm communicating my value prop, I'm going to be asking questions in the midst of my presentation, conversation, however you go about it. And some of the questions I'll ask is, hey, do you know other? So if I share something with someone, they say, yeah, that makes sense. I'll say, don't you? I mean, we all can think of other people can benefit from that too as well, right? Chances are they're going to say, yeah. I share something else that I provide, right, in the midst of my presentation, right? And don't you know of other people who dealt with the same thing? We've all been in situations where you acquire a product or service and it doesn't meet expectations. You call customer care and you find out they don't care. We've all been in situations where we've had consternation about producing paperwork, right? When we're looking to secure a grant or secure a loan or credit or financing, right? Especially when it's a first go around. We've all been there before. And wouldn't it be nice to be able to have access to resources to help you navigate those waters effectively? I mean, can't you think of other entrepreneurs and business owners could benefit from that? Well, it just makes sense, right? Wouldn't it make sense to be able to create predictable income, right? Actually have a sales management process in place. So you're not wondering week to week, month to month, year to year, what your revenues are going to be. Wouldn't it be nice to know what your RGAs or KPIs are and have a systemic process of duplicating those efforts day in and day out so your income comes? Wouldn't that give you a wonderful feeling of security and success? And look, I think we all can agree other people would benefit from that as well, right? I'm asking those questions and I'm looking for agreement because I'm anchoring them in what? In my value prop. Whether they decide to do business with me or not, okay. But what I'm also acutely aware of is everyone that I'm sitting across from knows at least 100 people that I don't know. And some of those people may be my ideal clients as well. And I can spend thousands of dollars attracting those individuals to me, or I can give a presentation. I can conduct myself in such a manner where a person likes, knows, and trusts me. And if your value prop is being communicated in a way where a person really feels like, once again, you're there to solve their problems, if you can't tell, I take more of a conversational approach and I look to acquire agreement throughout my presentation. Then the person is going to begin to trust you and they're going to feel like they know you because you're talking in such a way where you're communicating that you can identify with the problems they're dealing with. You know, I guess that's the one advantage I have, and this is something I would share with people. Be a product of your product. Part of the reason why people feel like they know me is I'm a product of a product. I'm out here solving problems I've either overcome or had to overcome myself. And then I've been able to help other people turn around and do the exact same thing. So if I'm having a conversation about a particular challenge, I've already transversed that ground already. And I can speak not just from an academic perspective like a guru, but I can actually say, I'm a guru. I've done this and I've helped other people do this. Let me help you do it too. Right. And so I anchor a person throughout the conversation. Doesn't that make sense? Isn't that valuable? Isn't that important? Right. Would that be a help to you? Right? And indirectly, what I'm also asking is, do you know other people could benefit? Right? I'm conversing with people. I mean, wouldn't your niece benefit from that? Wouldn't your son benefit from that? Wouldn't your mom, your dad? I'm having that conversation while I'm communicating the value prop. So I'm anchoring them in number one, that what I'm sharing is valuable because people aren't going to refer people to things that aren't valuable unless, they have some type of, where I'm going with that, right? Um, and people tend to refer folks to people they like, know, and trust. And here's something that I also shared. Let's say you ask someone, like, who do you know that you want to help? Who do you know that's a business owner? These are the referrals I ask for, right? Without getting too granular today, because I don't have time. But who do you know that is looking, right? Tired of check to check, tired of being in a situation where they don't know whether or not they're going to be able to take care of their kitchen table matters because of AI, whatever the case may be. Who do you know is not afraid of work? Who do you know has a heartbeat to help people and not scared of money, right? I'm asking for the referrals. I ask for the things that I want. So this is something else I'll share. I'll say, look, let's say you refer Sarah or you refer Jessica or you refer Regina to me, whatever the case may be. I will share exactly what my approach is going to be. I'll say, look, I'm going to call up Regina and I'm going to say, look, Regina, I was referred to you by Selena. You and I may not know each other, but she spoke very highly of you. I shared information to her about we've been able to help people do A, B, C, and D, and she thought you could benefit. I asked her, who are the serious, smart people who are really committed to leveling up in life and improving their station, improving their business, and being able to do more for their family and community? And she said that was you. Now I'm going to press pause the majority of the time and just let that sink in, because there's a book out there by Dale Carnegie, right? How to Win Friends and Influence People. And they talk about flattery being one of the most effective means to break the ice with individuals. And you don't want to be over the top. You don't want to lie, right? You don't want to go on some tirade that you know the person is looking at you sideways. But a little bit of flattery goes a long way in the beginning. So that's what I'm going to share with them. I'm flattering them to say this is what the person said about you. And I'm going to just give a pause for like 0.5 seconds, just to let it sit in, right? And then I'm going to say, look, and this is what I'm going to share with Selena. This is what I'm going to say to the person you referred me to. I'm going to say, look, I'm not here to sell you anything. You and I both know smart people don't make decisions based on a random phone call out the blue. But what I would like an opportunity to do is share with you what it is I share with Selena. And it may or may not be for you. It's okay. But it'd be worth 15 minutes of your time to listen and learn, right? That's my script. And I will share with the person I'm asking for referrals from, I will share my script with them. I'll tell them this is exactly what I'm going to say. Why am I doing that? Because one of the biggest concerns individuals have is that they're going to refer you to someone and you are going to get out there and be a dumb apple and ruin the relationship, right? By being too over the top, too salesy, fibbing, using tricks, because people have these preconceived notions of what sales is, right? They misconstrue tactics with strategy, and people who are just communicating value prop. But anyway, that's a conversation at the time. So I'm going to let them know what my referral process looks like and what I'm going to actually say to individuals, and it puts them at ease. And I shared that with her as well. I said, oftentimes, if you are communicating a value prop, but people still aren't giving you referrals, they don't trust your process. They don't trust their company, or it's a possibility they don't trust you. And it just is what it is. And you have to be willing to accept that. You have to think about your presentation, your approach. From the time you make eye contact with individuals, you're being judged. And people are making people are coming up with ideas whether or not they like, know, and trust you. So that's what I share with her. I hope that serves you as well. Anchor people in their priorities, because people are only going to do things that are a priority for them. Number two, anchor people in your value prop, right? That what you're bringing to the table can be beneficial to them. Anchor them in the fact that your value prop can benefit other people in the midst of while you're sharing your presentation, services, products, whatever the case may be. And then once you've done that, what you want to do is share your process, like what you're going to say, how you're going to conduct yourself with the people you end up being referred to, and then keep your words, stick to that script. Because trust me, people do follow up and have sidebar conversations. And it is what it is, right? The person you get introduced to, they don't like, know you, and trust you for the first couple seconds or couple minutes. They're going to give them back and give a bad report, and then you have a difficult time getting referrals again. So with that being said, everyone have a fantastic day. Celebrate success in advance. Goodbye for now.